Which other school do we have? What? Riara University. Yes, I was there many years back. Okay, to see you guys. I think as you do the official textbook stuff, also start socializing yourself with those two aspects: sensitivities of cultural differences, as well as optimism about your country. I think that's the biggest test. I don't think the PS or Ambassador Thigo or anyone here will employ someone or take you on if generally you've been hating on your country. And these days, before you're called for interview, wanaangalia vitu mingi mtandao. They see your TikTok, they see your your Twitter, and sometimes you think you can hide those two realities. You cannot hide it. So it's not trying to force you to love your country, but patriotism is the first, I think, value of a true diplomat. Earlier on, I gave a story here. I told them the story of the Pope, Pope John Paul, I think the second or the third. The Pope was in the States. He went to Los Angeles, LA. I know the Pope can get bored. First he doesn't have a wife, nini. So he's alone. And late in the evening, he decides to go out for a drive. And so he takes the car key. You know the vehicle the Pope uses? It's called the Pope Mobile. Very grand vehicle sometimes. The current Pope is a bit modest. He doesn't use very grand ones, but that one had a grand Pope Mobile. And so he gets out there and he's speeding and he's stopped by a policeman. So the cop stops him, and when he comes to the window, he sees it's the Pope. Guess what happens to the policeman? He faints. He faints. The Pope comes, tries to resuscitate him. He stands up. He faints again. So finally, when he was able to talk, the Pope tries to calm him. You know, I'm also a human. I'm a normal guy. Don't worry about me. And the cop is like, it's not about you. I'm just wondering, if you're driving, who is at the back? Who are you driving behind there? Who are you carrying? You know what the assumption would be. When you go out there to represent your country, it is not about you. It is about, first of all, the head of state. That's why you're called, if you become an ambassador, you're your excellency. Not because of you, but you're the representative of your president. But also because of the people you represent, and because of the country and the sovereignty of that state that you represent. That is why ambassadors naturally are not allowed to have dual citizenship, so that you're not conflicted in terms of your allegiance. You must have allegiance to your country. So I wish you all the best in your journey of diplomacy, in your journey in school. You can count on us. We are working closely with the ministry. We want to set up a proper liaison on diplomatic affairs for Nairobi. Because when many of these people come, the first place, of course, they land is Nairobi. And there are some special arrangements we need to have in terms of facilitating. And we've received a lot of support as well from bilateral partners and from the UN and these missions, including Limuru Road and Uhuru Highway. Many years ago was done just to get people from the airport to the United Nations. So I want to take 2 or 3 questions. Yes, my brother. At the back. Just project. I don't think we have a runner. Okay, there we go. Tell us your name and what you're studying and where.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I'm a student of diplomacy because I teach diplomacy. I'm Dr. Auchi Ngonela from Riara University. My question concerns you as the governor of Nairobi. Nairobi is the entry point of Africa, maybe, if not Johannesburg, yeah? And in the Great Lakes region. Education is an instrument of diplomacy. And when you look at our institutions, let's not lie, they are either in a coma or they are dying. University of Nairobi, which was the pioneer institution teaching international relations, where we have gurus like Ambassador Anita Kiamba and Maria Nzomo, among others, hardly now has many students. And I wonder even why they are not here. Then, when we come to that education in itself, the policy of the government is the promotion of the science courses. And you know very well that diplomacy is an art and it's a craft in itself. Where is the position of education diplomacy? You as a governor, what are you going to do? Because I know you have the ear of the president, he's your personal friend.
Who told you?
Ni mimi nakushow. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take two others. Yes, on this side, the lady standing. So that education.
Thank you and good morning. My brother from Riala, I want to tell you Nairobi University is equally represented here today. I'm one of the students, PhD students at the university, and also a part-time lecturer, and we came with very many students. My question to the governor is, Nairobi is a diplomatic hub. It is the gateway to the region, yet the town as we see it right now, the place is extremely dirty. We do not have dustbins. The clocks are not working. There are potholes across the city, especially here within the CBD. What are you doing about it? Thank you.
Thank you. One more, now more hands up. Okay, just speak.
Good morning. Okay, my name is Maureen. I'm from Pioneer University, currently doing Bachelor of Arts, International Relations and Diplomacy. So my question is on job creation. So, what strategies are in place to...
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. What strategies are in place to leverage foreign partnership to create sustainable job opportunities for the youth and the marginalized groups in Nairobi and the whole of Nairobi?
Okay, thank you. Let me take those three first because I can only remember so much. First, my brother from Riara University. I think the first part of your question was answered. There's University of Nairobi, and the first two questions point to something that I think we need to do more civic education on, which is the role of county governments vis-a-vis the role of national government, and the role of the capital. So education, and I'm glad you ended with the right that you're asking me because you know I have their ear. Education is extremely important on diplomacy. I think our universities need to be supported. There's an ongoing process in terms of the university funding. There's been a huge debate about the sustainability. We've seen problems in some of the institutions. I think Moi University challenges at the University of Nairobi. It's not how it was, during our time. I think the national government has a task and is doing, what it must do. First of all, to make sure there is integrity and to make sure there is proper governance. You don't just pump in money when the governance structures are not working correct. And you see certain anomalies, like how the councils are dealing with issues directly below, bypassing vice chancellors or whatnot, then it raises a question. So that is not in our mandate as county governments. We deal with lower level of education, our early childhood. We do some interventions in our primary schools, and TVETs. Ours is to make sure there's a proper environment for that to work. It's the same way with my sister's questions. Nairobi is unique in that we have national infrastructure and county infrastructure. Yeah, and we can't shuck off responsibility, but like I saw recently a video of vehicles flying off Jogo Road, and like, Sakaja, fix this one. The only dimple in Nairobi should be on your face, not on the roads. I was like, yes, it's true. There's national roads. If you get out here and you go to Uru Highway and Expressway looks good, the one below looks bad, that's actually not our purview. But that notwithstanding, it needs to be sorted out. And that is why, if you follow me on social media, which I hope you do, and I encourage you to, you'll see that in the last 2-3 weeks, we've had sessions with the president and the national road agencies to say, look, we need to sort all of these together. Of course, once the rains subside, because there's only so much you can do to a road when it's raining. There's been a debate in Parliament about certain funds, the Road Maintenance Levy Fund, where the members of Parliament have decided to stick with it. Now, Road Maintenance Levy Fund is charged on everyone who buys fuel. There are national roads and county roads. Most roads are county roads, but that money doesn't come to counties. So how do we fix those roads? And so the Council of Governors went to court to say that a huge percentage of this resourcing should be on our roads. So in the last 2 years, we've done quite a number because the infrastructure was so derelict. These days I've been posting, to show. Many of the ones we're doing are in the informal settlements. It is not your major roads here because of that lacuna between us and the national government, which is soon being sorted. And so if you look at Mukuru Kwanjenga, if you go to Njadaini, in Ruai they're doing their first tarmac now, imagine after all those years. Udiru Rudimitu, it is happening. And we are doing that based on wards. So the highest ward allocation had been 203 million in 2017. My first year, I put 735 million worth of those roads done. Now we have this last year we've done 950 million also done. So now we can come closer to the centers. The problem is, you see, even where we are is a constituency. When you allocate the money for roads to an MP in Starehe, will you put the money here or in Mukuru Kayaba, where they are voters? He will ignore town. Or if it's Westlands, they'll do Kangemi. They will not do Westlands. Or if it's Kibra, Upper Hill is in Kibra. There are portals in Kibra. Will you do the Kibra portals or he'll go into Kibira? They'll go inside there, not Upper Hill. And so that is the discussion we're having. Especially Kilimani, where someone would focus more on Kangware and not in Kilimani or Chani Avenue or whatnot, so that we can do them. So we've agreed on a program of around 11 billion. The Urban Areas and Cities Act, if you look at it, Section 6, talks about special financing for the capital. And the special financing includes agreeing on infrastructure. And so, which is why I said, you don't want to be in Nairobi in 4 hours, 5 hours from Dubai, and then stuck for another 5 hours. So we've just signed on ITS system. ITS is the intelligence traffic system with South Korea, where they supported us, and I thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to signalize many of our junctions. One of the asks from the UN desk there was the lights in Gigiri. They don't work, but the cops work. And there's a reason why the cops are working. They should not be there, but they're there because it presents an opportunity for many things. And so we are taking that role back as a city. When you come back in January, for those who will go away for Christmas, you will see a difference in many of these places because now we've put those resources. What also happens that people don't realize is counties have two sources of funding. Our own source revenue, which are the parking fees you pay, business permits, which have been low for many years. I'm proud that as governor, we've raised the highest amount in history, 12.8 billion in the last year. And then there is an equitable share, which all counties get a share of. So every year there's a division of revenue bill that divides national and county. I'm sure there's been a fight about that. And then spreads it out. So from that one, I get 20 billion. And from our own source, around 13 billion. The day it delays, in the instances it's delayed, everything we collect then goes to paying salaries, unfortunately. And so you find that infrastructure gets delayed. So we're thinking of creative ways to fund our infrastructure, including infrastructure bonds, green bonds. Kenyans out there would want to put money into a BRT. You'd want a metro in Nairobi. We deserve a metro in mass transit. We're doing 5 lines of BRT, all supported. One should be in cabinet this week. Line 3, French Development Agency supporting from Dandora all the way to Ngong. We're doing those other lines as well. A country that is developed and growing is not measured by the number of people with a private car, but how many people can actually use public transport. Because if you look even at our roads, if all of us drive, and if you go to traffic and look at the road, you'll see everyone is alone in their car or 2 people. Yet if it was a train, there'd be more people in less space. So that's what we're going to. You'll see those changes. A big problem has been vandalism. Everyone asks, why can't you just put bins? It's easy. You put them today, tomorrow they've gone. We've put street lights across the city. In a week, they have gone. And so we want to start a serious campaign against vandalism. Vandalism of public infrastructure. We lit, for instance, the whole of Ngong Road from Junction to Karen, for those who use that road. But every so often you see 5 lights are not working. It's not because hatujalipa stima. It's because somebody has actually stolen the cables, somebody has stolen the lamps themselves to sell in the black market. So we should all be able to take care of where we are. So the infrastructural work will definitely be done. We are very keen on making sure that the city then lives up and builds, to its billing as a global capital. We've lined up 11 billion worth of work based on our support with the president. Some have been advertised. Many are being funded by the county. Some had been stalled during the NMS period, and those are not in our purview now, but we've asked for them back. Because I've realized whether it's a national road or county road, Sakaja will be blamed. And so I've said, just give them to me with the resources so that I can make sure they're done. So give us some time on that. The last question was on economic opportunities, job opportunities. I've been a big champion for getting our young people engaged. Yeah? And as diplomats, you need to know where we are as a continent and as a country. In 1950, 22% of the world's population was in Europe, and Africa only made up 7%. Today, it has changed. In 2050, which is 25 years from January, 1 out of 4 people will be on the continent of Africa, and 7% will be in Europe. It has flipped. Our median age is 19. Unless we do two things, create the environment for people to get jobs and to get the correct training, then we are looking at a time bomb. Already we're possibly in that time bomb. In my time as a legislator, I dedicated myself for legislation around that. The first law I brought was the 30% procurement opportunities for women and youth, persons with disability. If you've heard of it, AGPO, that was my bill in Parliament. The second one then was to say, okay, if you're not going to do business, let me make sure you're trained properly. And so we did National Employment Authority. That was my second bill. National Employment Authority, I think you know it only on labor migration, but its work is supposed to be bigger. The National Employment Authority Act provides a board that has a number of people together. One, you have the universities, the technical training institutions, you have foreign affairs, you have the Federation of Employers, and you have all the people who should sit down, because it's to create job centers across the country. The job centers then, if you're looking for a job as a young person, you go there and say, my name is Ndinda, this is what I've studied, these are my skills, for them to help you first with the soft skills. Some people don't even know how to go for an interview or where to go start looking. Once you're done with college, where are you going to get a job? You don't know. Whether it is you look for an uncle and give him your CV, many don't know. But it collects a database that will start informing the choices of skills matching. Because for many young people, university is just postponing unemployment for 4 years or 5 years. We're training people for things that the job market is not ready to absorb. And so you need that entity to be able to say, look, these are the manufacturers, these are the employers, these are the education institutions, these are the skills we need, we don't have. We need this in the next 5 years, change our curriculum, change the courses that we're selling. So that was the second legislation. Already it's helped many in terms of bilateral labor, those going to different countries. But locally, we want to strengthen the job center structure in every constituency in our country. You need to have that, and to train them on soft skills, and to go to high school. You know, in high school, after Form 2, you can tell somebody's temperament, what somebody will be naturally suited to do. Because many of us are victims of what we used to call that time joint admissions board or placement. You're just placed based on your grades and not based on your skills or based on your temperament. And everyone has a natural ability to perform well in one area or another. So that was the next one, the Employment Authority. Thirdly, I sponsored a bill which I'm proud of by half, because it didn't pass. It passed in the Senate, it didn't go through the National Assembly, and that was a startup bill. There are many, many young people with brilliant ideas that can be turned into rapidly scalable economic opportunities through startups. Now what we wanted was not national government to fund. You can't fund these startups. The venture capital required is amazing, is a lot. But you need to de-risk the investors who put money into those startups and create what we call a virtual special economic zone. So that you don't have to bring everybody into Konza or to... There's an amazing idea in their bedroom, somewhere in Thika. There's a young person in Kayole with just this brilliant thing that can be rapidly scalable and employ many people. Once they meet the threshold, they should get those incentives. So for us as a county government, there's simple things. There's a Biashara fund which we intend to launch in January. We've done all the work around it to support existing businesses to grow more. Tomorrow, if you walk around town on a Saturday, you'll see hundreds of young people taking photos, taking videos. They are earning a livelihood. They were not allowed to do that. I just lifted the ban on photography in town. And they'll tell you, look, I'm earning a living from this. So we need to keep creating opportunities, especially using technology for our young people. And that's something we're really keen on. Yeah. So thank you for those questions. I don't think we have time for any more. I'm happy for you to invite us to your from that one. I hide it from that mic, from that speaker. We're very happy for you to invite us, and for you also to learn more about how it's your government. It is your government. Years ago, we were where you are. We said we want to change the world. Now we are here. We need to hear from you. And I want you to believe that you're able also to change your world. I want to give you hope. Sometimes things may not look all, rosy and positive, but you must draw it from within. You must first believe that you're going to decide your destiny. And that's why I'm really encouraged by this generation, because this generation has shown that you're not willing to watch your country pass by, or your destiny pass you by. But that boldness must be followed with real action, first of all, in your personal life. So asanteni sana for listening to me, and thanks for the questions. I hope I've answered the questions that were asked. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. You're such a tough crowd. Good morning. Ni chai, ni maji, ni chai. We'll sort that one out. Kuna Java pale. Just to stand up and thank the governor for taking time to come to speak to us this morning. Asante sana, Governor. He mentioned technology at the end. I've been blessed to be appointed by the president as the first ever tech envoy in Africa. So the first ever. But it doesn't mean we were the first. There were 20 other countries that did this before, and all of them are in Europe or the US. Just quickly to mention, as the PS had mentioned, that technology, as you know, is affecting how we live, learn, and work. Increasingly, it's becoming an issue of diplomacy, from artificial intelligence to quantum computing. If you're studying diplomacy, you would know that we have new diplomatic topics. Technology is now a topic of diplomacy and negotiation. That first ever UN AI resolution, privileged to have been part of putting that up in March. We had the Global Digital Compact as part of the Summit of the Future. Kenya led the negotiations on behalf of G77 and China. I was also appointed by the Secretary General as part of his UNAI advisory body to the extent of what AI means to the future, especially in the future of work. To the geopolitics of technology, and in terms of whether it's east or west, or how quantum or how green minerals are going to transpire, or how AI and emerging technologies are consuming energy, and how these technologies are actually impacting the planet. The president also appointed before me a special envoy on climate change, because that's also another topic of diplomacy. Esther and the team there, you can wave, so they see you, they're part of the climate envoy. They're just from Baku. They haven't slept. If you've been following Baku, you know what has been happening. The climate envoy for Kenya is also the chair of the Africa Group of Negotiators. So just look at the news. You'll see what has been transpiring in Baku and the connection between digital and environmental sustainability. And because the governor is here, that is really important for Kenya, because that's also one of our diplomatic angle, is how does Kenya lead around digital and environmental sustainability. I wish I'd had more time. If you, outside this format, please try and engage us. We are really leading in this too. Whether it's climate diplomacy or techplomacy, which is now the new word around that, which includes cybersecurity. Cyber threats are transboundary right now, acquisition of technology. We're seeing a lot of issues around talent and talent wars. We're seeing issues around how companies now are bigger than countries. We are seeing misinformation, disinformation, fake news, manipulated media, which is also an issue of diplomacy right now in terms of how you negotiate transboundary, because many of the actors are not in your country simply because of how the internet is. So you really, in most cases, have to negotiate on how misinformation, disinformation flows in between countries. We're also seeing that around data sharing, border data flows. That's also a negotiation issue. So this is really a new field of diplomacy, and Kenya is leading by myself and Ambassador Ali. And you increasingly see this transpire in the next. So this is really the future of diplomacy. Hopefully you continue to engage with the ministry and my colleagues. We are really at the forefront of this. So lots of material, still no new literature. We're just building this stuff up right now. In the next 1 week, we will launch the first ever playbook on artificial intelligence, on how diplomats can negotiate on issues around AI. So hopefully you will see that copy and it can inform either your work or your lectures. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I believe Ambassador Thigo and the governor have to leave. So please, round of applause, round of applause. So quickly, because of time, we're going to go through the next section, which is mock presentation of credentials. I'll hand it over to Sarah to, yeah, so we'll ask officers from the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. They'll take you through the mock presentation of credentials.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samson Koech. I'm the Deputy Chief of Protocol. But today, this is not my day. I'm just going to introduce a team from Protocol Directorate, a department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that handles quite a number of events and state functions, diplomatic privileges and immunities. We have conferences and events, parliamentary liaison, among others. So this being the day for the young diplomats, young officers who have been working in Protocol Directorate, and they are going to present to you one of the events that they do, which is a presentation of credentials. So I will invite the team, Abdi, Phoebe, Mike, and Bantu, to take you through the program. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Olga. I work in Protocol Department of Foreign Affairs.
So I think someone will hold this one. So maybe you can.
Here.
Sorry?
Nieke hapa.
Then put it somewhere. You can just hide it somewhere.
Oh my God.
Hi guys.
Hi.
What are you guys doing here today?
We are here for the MFA. We want to learn more about the interactions among nations.
Nasikia kweli. Shikilia.
Ongea.
Tiana ushaanza shika.
Mimi natoka.
Tiana, please akino. Na vile ulikuwa unasema vizuri. We are here at Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the open day.
Oh, for the open day.
Shikilia hapa. Tiana.
Excuse.
Atuko kamera side.
Oh. You're not being seen. We just need to be ready.
Okay,
So
so
they're going to activate. The thing is, we'll do it as a group unless you want to do individually. Do you know those light things?
hizo light skins nataka kuja.
Have you ever been here?
Diaspora Affairs for the open day celebrating for the open day.
When the question comes, you ideally, so what's your name? My name is, so that because I want to be heard, today is being heard, you have to like it.
So it's only name and one reaction.
Yeah.
So after I say my name, I can.
Okay guys, how are you?
Hi.
Hi.
What are your names?
My name is Dana. I'm Tiana. I'm Margaret.
You tell us why you're here.
We are here today at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We are here at the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs for the Diplomatic Open Day.
And where are you from?
We are actually from Diaspora University. Yes.
You guys have a department of, is it called diplomacy?
Yeah, Department of International Relations and Security Studies.
So what is your course?
International Relations.
Okay. What is the experience here so far?
It's fun. Actually, people have turned out, and it's actually interesting because we're learning more and more. Yeah.
What have you learned from the directorates? What booths have you visited?
I've visited the Department of Foreign Affairs and I've learned that the reception is nice. I like the approach they're giving us, the details they're giving us, and also some factors that we didn't know about, and we're happy about it.
Have you been to the booths or just it's when you're going?
Yeah, we are still going. We've started with the Ministry of Prime Cabinet Secretary, where we've learned about how they take care of students especially, and anyone who is outside the country in matters of education, healthcare, and everything. As much as they are Kenyans, even when they go there, their affairs are being taken care of, so that they can feel safe and their life will be like smooth. Yeah.
Great. Do you welcome others to come? Go ahead.
Welcome, guys.
To the open day.
It's so fine. Thank you.
Joseph, I'm a student at USIU, and I'm pursuing international relations as my degree, my second year of study now. And so I'm here to get to participate in this inaugural Ministry of Foreign Affairs Open Day, so that to learn of the operations around and the ministry and how it affects diplomacy, the global diplomacy aspect.
How has the experience been so far?
So far so good. The best thing is I'm not coming from ground level, but at least engaged with the affairs of the ministry, even if not through the ministry directly, but in one way or the other. And so for me, my greatest areas of interest have been exploring the economic diplomacy desk, the cultural diplomacy, and now looking into how do we make it work, because personally I'm so passionate about pursuing the agenda of persons with disabilities and looking into how do we localize the engagements, because again you find that we have global policies that need to be effected locally. What is the role of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs into ensuring that this works out? Thank you. Oh, okay.
Proceed.
Okay. The welfare of its citizens are taken care of from an all-encompassing point of view. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, this wonderful open day, it's a good day for us to open to the public. We answer questions to the public so that we remove the myths and misconception that is out there in the public that people think about foreign affairs. So we want to clear the air and bring clarity on exactly what we do, on exactly our core mandate, and what is it that we can do to negotiate for proper bilateral agreements with foreign countries, foreign missions. How is it that we can also improve our diplomacy? We can come up with foreign policy exchange programs. We also come up with ways on how we can have proper trade routes so that Kenyans can be able to invest, and also those ones to invest back in the country. Kenyans, the diaspora, we invite them as well to come and invest back in the country, so they're going to improve our GDP.
All right. Do you feel the turnout has been good so far? Is it exceeding expectations?
Oh yes, we mobilize on our social media, and as I can see, people are turning up in large numbers, and as the day goes by, people are gonna come through. People are gonna come through in large numbers. So we are hopeful that it's gonna be a success. Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Great.
Emma. I'm from Strathmore University, and I'm here to engage in matters international affairs, foreign affairs, and how Kenya is actually interacting with other states in promoting the whole aspect of diplomacy. Yes, I am.
Okay, so nice. Just two questions.
Mhm.
How many ports have you visited?
Mhm.
What's your experience so far?
So currently I have visited two. One was on multilateral affairs, and the other one was on cultural diplomacy. The main one that really interested me was on cultural diplomacy, whereby I got to understand more on just how Kenya is interacting with other states in terms of incorporating the cultures in various aspects, Kenya's relations with countries such as Egypt, as well as many others, and how it is actually impacting Kenya as a whole when it comes to its whole aspect of promoting its foreign policy. Yeah.
Okay, so your favorite?
Cultural diplomacy.
Okay, thank you and welcome back.
Thank you.
My
Years of Kenya's diplomatic engagements and all that. Yeah.
apart from Hi, how are you?
Hi.
So what's your name? What are your names?
Let me go first. My name is Kinoti Hilda.
I'm Jeremina Kirindi. So are you students?
Yes.
Where are you from? Which university?
Pioneer International University.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome to the open day. How is your experience so far?
My experience is quite nice. I've really had a chance to interact and talk to different people, different departments in different categories. Yeah.
So far it's been pleasing to hear the views of different people and to know that we actually have an ambassador for technology, a new position, and connecting with people, getting to know different things about different countries that Kenya deals with or cooperates with so as to better our country. So it's been really exciting and educative so
I have
far.
a surprise question.
Okay.
Who is the PS of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
Korir.
The first name escaped my mind.
I can't pronounce the second one, but I know it's Korir.
It's Koril.
Yes.
It's someone Koril. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Okay,
thank
welcome.
you.
Hi. Tell us your name and what you're doing here today.
I am Beverly. I am a student at Pioneer International Uni. I am studying international relations and diplomacy. I am here to more or so benchmark, for lack of a better term. Yeah.
Have you visited any books?
Yes.
Which one was your favorite?
My favorite so far is for the one for Commonwealth. Yeah, that one is my favorite so far. I had so many questions when I was coming here, and I think right now it has made me quite, with peace and security, international development, foreign policy. Yeah, it has made my mind clearer.
Surprise question. What's the difference between foreign affairs and diaspora affairs?
Damn. Foreign affairs and diaspora affairs. If you ask me, is that difference?
That's why it's a surprise question.
Okay, diaspora, like in common language, you say diaspora ni Maju. Foreign affairs is Maju too. More or less something the same. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
That was an easy one, right?
Probably.
Excited to learn about the foreign affairs and also get to know what the ministry is about. So yeah, and also about diplomacy. Yeah.
Basically, for me, I wanted to learn more about the foreign affairs of Kenya because I'm Ugandan, so I would want to learn more about a country I'm studying in. So yeah, yeah.
Surprise question.
Yeah.
What's the difference between foreign affairs and diplomacy?
Foreign affairs and diplomacy. Which one will you take?
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy. Okay, so I'll take foreign affairs. In my opinion, I think foreign affairs involves a country like, let's say, Kenya, its foreign policy and how it associates with another country, like let's say Uganda. So the Kenyan foreign policy and Uganda foreign policy, now they're foreign affairs. Yes, I think that's it.
Yeah, then for diplomacy is how a country interacts with another country and how they make decisions together and relate on basis like, let's say, trade, let's say security, more of relating with one another on common terms and common goals. Yeah.
You know what your Can I ask another surprise?
Yeah.
Sure. Name two ambassadors.
I mean, we were ready for that, but you know, some other time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Was that
I'm in Jeji.
Hi, how are you?
Hello. Hello.
Please tell us your names and where you're from.
Stop there.
Okay, ladies first.
Hello, my name is Philista. I'm from UAN, studying political science.
Hi, my name is Christine Morris from Riara University, studying international relations.
Joseph Mose, Riara University, International Relations.
Hello, my name is Kale Bekale, a student of International Relations and Diplomacy, Riara University, also the president and the student leader of Riara.
So, President, okay, how many missions do we have?
In the entire world.
Yeah, no, in Kenya we have, okay, let me narrow it down. We have 68 missions, right? I'd like you to name just five missions.
We have the Canadian mission in Kenya, the Nigerian mission in Kenya, the Rwanda, Austria, and Israel.
Okay, I'll be counting seconds. 5 missions in 5 seconds.
Should I start over?
No, it's okay. Umepita.
Austrian, Uganda, Rwanda.
Okay, next.
Oh, you're okay.
We have German, Belgium, Spain, France, and Australia.
Okay.
Tanzania, Uganda, German, United States, and Botswana.
Okay, so you came here because you want to learn more about maybe the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or you have reasons that you came. But what's that pressing question that you came to ask and to find out? And have you already gotten the answer that you wanted?
Yeah, okay. In my opinion, as per my view, I think the most pressing question which I had was how we know how diplomacy works from whatever we see, but what actually happens behind the scenes. And an example that has been given by one of the speakers was there are some parts of diplomacy which you don't get to interact with. The part which involves drafting treaties or maybe agreements. These are basically the part which lead to what we see. So as far as I've been involved in diplomacy, or maybe as a student of IR, there are a number of things I've been looking forward to knowing how they work. And I think from this particular open day, I've been able to interact with a number of people, be it specialists or maybe even my peers who are part of this open day, and have been able to share with me how this is conducted. So yeah.
So basically, I wanted to know more about how Kenya is dealing with the Asian debt. Has Kenya been able to address that matter, and how are they finding alternatives towards coping and cutting off some of the costs that we incur within the Kenyan and Asian relations? I am yet to find that answer, so I'm going to ask. I will definitely.
So on my end, I had a question, but then it was interrupted because they say they had less time. So actually, my question was on about Germany and Kenya. So you find that the president was there and issued, how is it called? Issued an action that the people will be called to maybe they'll be given job opportunities, school opportunities there. But then you find that when you come to Germany, you have your high school certificate. They don't recognize it. They tell you have to do extra years in order to attain their level of education. So my question would be, what is the government of Kenya probably doing in order to make our maybe school certificate be able to be recognized out there? And then it's not answered yet. No, we didn't get it. Yeah.
I wanted to know how the job opportunities work and how social networking works, and nimepata jibu.
So let's say as a common mwananchi out there, let's say does not understand what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora does. Are you in a better place to explain to them now that you've been here? For those who've gotten the responses, do you think you can tell the common mwananchi what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora does without
Yes, I think with the academic knowledge to begin with, and the practical knowledge and the knowledge that I've gained here today, I am at a better position to make that 5-year-old understand what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is about, what the duties they conduct, and what it takes to be a diplomat.
No, first we need to recognize the fact that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is among the ministries that have like the least touch with the common wananchi. Take an instance, with the Ministry of Health, many people are aware of what happens there. Whenever there's something to do with the health sector, they'll know where to go. But you find a huge population or a huge number of people, or the common wananchi as you have put it, they don't know what happens with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So as at now, I think I'm at a position to talk to that person who had no knowledge of what I'm sure even there's a person who doesn't know there's such a ministry existing somewhere. So as at now, I think I'm at a position to explain to someone what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is all about. Yes, from the academic knowledge which I may know because considering the discipline which I'm into at the moment, but also with this open day, I think my knowledge has been expounded. So yes.
There is one last question. This open day is under big celebration under one celebration. What is the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs celebrating in 5
Kenya at 60.
Kenya at 60.
In action. In action,
Kenya.
diplomacy, something like that.
Kenya what at 60?
Diplomacy in action.
Yes, Kenya. Yeah.
Genius.
Thank you so much for coming. You have to see you back after you get responses. Right? Karibuni.
Asante.
Yeah.
Hi. Please say your names and what you are doing here today.
My name is Sakawa, a student from Diaspora University, and I am here to come and learn more about my field in the foreign affairs field.
My name is Bob Eddy. I'm intellect in the matters of diplomacy and international relations. So I'm basically here for just networks and see how I'd propel myself in my career.
Okay, so there's been this question where people are saying they don't understand what Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs does, and most people think it's just about Kupanda Ndege. After you come here today, do you think you are at a good position to explain to them what the ministry does?
Yes, indeed, because we are being exposed to many different kinds of fields that is in the foreign affairs. You get to know if there's the UN, the African Union, the ESC, and also the Great Lake Region body. So you get to learn more, you get to ask questions, and I feel everybody should have this experience or this privilege of coming to ask and learn more. They'll get to know more about the foreign affairs.
Yeah, as my colleague has just said, Kupanda Ndege is just but a privilege, but we are able to see there's so many things, foreign policies. We've been able to integrate ourselves in Africa. We've seen there's the EAC. Also, we've been able to branch out cultural diplomacy. We've gone to the Middle East. We've gone to the Commonwealth countries. So it's not just about Kupanda Ndege.
I have a surprise question. Who is the principal cabinet secretary of the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs? Principal cabinet secretary in 10 seconds.
Salim Davadi.
Yes. Should I ask another one?
No, we're good. I mean, it was an easy question, but thank you.
Okay, last question. Not question, sorry. Last question. What would you tell someone who is not here today? Their lives. So what would you tell them? What would you tell that young person who is going to maybe a future diplomat?
Well, I'll tell them they should look for such an event next time. They should not miss out because this is a good experience, and I feel I learn a lot. Not just people who are in the international relations field or are studying that particular course. This is a good thing to learn. It's adding knowledge. Therefore, I feel if they had missed today, they can make sure they come next time.
Yeah, so for future diplomats, policy makers, Pan-Africanists, you've missed out, man. This has been an opportunity to network. This has been an opportunity to learn about Africa, to learn about the globe. And if an opportunity presents itself, come on, come show out. This is an opportunity to equally propel yourself, as he said, not just in the international relations field, but in very many careers as well.
Finally, as you give, which is the one mission that you're looking forward to visiting the embassy?
Well, I'll particularly say EAC because I'm very interested in East Africa Legislative Assembly.
Personally, for me, I'd also go with EAC. My country, the Democratic Republic of Congo, just joined EAC, so it's up to me to figure out how we're going to chart these policies for my country.
Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
I'm Velvin Aliaka, I'm from USIU.
I'm Anna Mina, I'm from USIU.
Which courses are you pursuing?
I'm majoring in international relations, concentration in development studies, and a minor in environmental studies.
I'm majoring in international relations, concentration, diplomacy, and foreign policy.
So, have you visited any country since you came in?
Yes.
Which was your favorite?
The police one. It was really interesting.
The HR department, because I got to know about internships and attachments.
And what's your experience so far since you came in, since you worked in that country?
I've had a really good experience. We've got to learn more about what's going on in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, like the diplomatic privileges and immunities. It's just been a good time.
I've really learned a lot about the EAC and the different departments, the Department of Planning and Events, and I've just learned that these rotational, people have to work in every department, so yeah, it doesn't get boring.
Surprise question. Who is the PS of the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora?
I think it's Korea. Singoe.
Okay, good job. Karibuni tena.
Thank you.
Everybody has their desires.
I'm good. How are you?
Tell us your name.
My name is Jack Seda. Can you hear me? My name is Jack Seda from Nairobi, Kenya. A student representative from Riara University and the European Union Youth Empowerment Fund.
Have you visited any
Yes, the diplomatic office, the diplomatic police, the EU booth, which I'm a part of, Market Kenya booth, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs booth as well. Policy.
Which one excited you?
The one that excited me the most was the Market Kenya, because I managed to see what we produce, at least an image of what we produce, how it is marketed, why it should be marketed, and the benefits of selling Kenya outside the world.
You seem to have a lot of interest in foreign affairs. So what's the difference between foreign affairs?
So foreign affairs is how a country interacts with its neighbors or members of the diplomatic space. So country X relating to country Y and other countries as well. Diplomacy is just the act of a country advocating for its personal interests in the international space. So yes, that's basically it. Yeah.
So who is the PCS of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
Korea Singaway, I believe. I have no idea. Oh, okay. Musalia Mudavadi. Yes.
Did you have any pressing questions when you
Yes, I did. I was more interested in knowing, since Kenya, we're celebrating 60 years of Kenyan diplomacy, I wanted to know how the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is, engaging with the youth to ensure that they get the youth voices involved and included in, formulation of foreign policy as it is, because we're seeing a situation where foreign policy is dramatically shifting, and we would like to have the youth, especially the Kenyan youth, play a pivotal and key role in, formulation of that foreign policy, because it's us that it affects. Yeah.
And you got a satisfying answer?
Yes, I got an answer. Satisfied, not really, but but I got an answer. Yes.
Do you think where you sit right now, do you think you can tell the common mwananchi what the ministry is about? Someone maybe may not understand what exactly the Ministry of Foreign Affairs does.
Okay.
Do you think you can tell them what they do?
Yeah, I can. So the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs is basically your marketer, Kenya's marketer in the outside world. You see the business opportunities that we get when international organizations come to Kenya and operate from here. It is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that ensures that they are comfortable and that they're welcome. When you're applying to those jobs in Dubai and Qatar, it is Kenya that ensures that the policies that you are working with when you're working there are from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It ensures fair treatment. Inahakikisha kuwa when you're working, you're comfortable outside. Scholarships for students to study abroad, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs does that as well. Marketing our goods internationally, made in Kenya, that is what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs does. And the Diaspora section ensures that Kenyans abroad are actively involved in affairs, in the running and the affairs of their motherland. So think of it as your big brother outside, ensuring that Kenya gets the recognition it truly deserves. Yeah.
So let's say you can comfortably say your visit here was not in vain.
No, I can comfortably say I got exactly what I hoped for. I managed to see how the ministry operates. Of course, I had an understanding before, but I got a more intimate understanding of it, and I appreciated it. I appreciated the open day that they had today.
If I asked the PS, Dr. Simon, to come here right now, what would you tell him?
I would tell him involve the youth in policy making. I think that is what I would advocate for the most, because policy affects generations. This is the generation that is starting. Ensure to involve them, because people who are 50 will not be here to experience the consequences of the policies instituted now. So involve the youth in policy formulation, policy development, include us more in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, more than they already do, because we are the voices of the future.
Thank you so much for coming. And please continue representing us.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, please spread the gospel.
I'll be sure to do so. Thank you. How was that?
Nikama, you have what is it called? The manual.